update, and let us look at this, and let's hope that I am able to address some of your worries and you feel better about it. Of course, this webinar is provided to all of you for information purposes. It's all voluntary, and this is not an indication of any endorsement or commitment to purchase from QMII. We are stakeholders in your success and therefore the webinar. Of course, you know how to use it. If you have any question, my staff is also online, including our CEO and president, and um, please ask questions. They will immediately help you out. Adjust your view as you like it on your system, and of course, listen, control, etc. If you like to see who is on top, you can adjust it to this format. What we are going to cover today is a little bit about QMII, and I hope you will permit us that. The idea is at least a little bit. Why we are here? Of course, we are here for that standard, how to prepare for ISO standard revisions, and I'll give you time for questions and answers. In case we run short of time, please feel free to send an email to any of us in QMII. We are a team, and we have Wyatt, we have Jacob, we have Lisa and Angelica, and there is Julius. We are all committed to you. Just send us an email and we always answer. It all comes to us. We are a tightly held small company. About QMII a little bit, and you will see that we are Probitas, Exemplar Global, United States Coast Guard certified. We also hold ISO 9001. We are already 14,001, etc. Cyber security, but we are not certified. We are at present certified to ISO 9001. We have been providing best in the industry process improvement consulting since 1986. We are headquartered right here in the shadows of our wonderful capital in Ashburn, Virginia. And the rest, you know, we are an 8A DBE certified minority owned business. We are on the GSA contract. And if you are representing the government, feel free to reach out to us, please. This is a wonderful new slide. Our CEO, Julius, came up with it, and I'm very delighted with it because it sums up our outreach, where all we help you. More than 10,000 auditors have been trained by us, over 1,000 companies we have worked with. And over these 40 plus years, we have a satisfaction rate of over 98%. Over 98%. But thank you for your support to QMII. These are all our clients, just a few of them, many more, but it gives you the wide spectrum of maritime to military to Coast Guard to chemical industries like Indorama, GE Aerospace, Amtrak, Chevron, NOAA. We work with all of them. Well, this is time for a little poll, and I'm looking forward to your cooperation. And we will request Julius to conduct this poll. The first one, please. Help us tailor this webinar. As I listen to you, I'm doing that. Please tell us your current position. I presume Julius and my team have got the data. We are delighted that there are at least 26%, nearly 30% QHSC managers Whole lot of you are internal auditors, and we are here to support you always. Of course, there are about 29% who are other, and you're all welcome. Julius, you're good? Excellent. Let's have this second poll, please, and your cooperation on this. And Julius is conducting it. What are you in, or where are you in your transition to readiness? It'll give me a direct input to tailor the webinar as we go forward. If somebody has unmuted their system, please do mute it so you're not disturbing others. So I see almost 52% you are waiting for the final revisions before you take actions, and I quite like that input. That's a very mature attitude. It is an opportunity, which is the next largest group to strengthen your system, and which is a very good thing. And the remaining 25% for various reasons, we have started the gap analysis. 2% we have transition in place, wonderful. 4% we are reviewing the draft changes, about 15%. Look before you leap. I trust you have your information, Julius. All right. So why are we here? We want to outline the practical steps to prepare for the changes. We have 40 plus years of experience. I am myself with my team a subject matter expert in this. I've been member of the tag committee, etc. And therefore you are hearing it from the horse's mouth. You want to identify key changes which are coming, evaluate the potential impact on your system. So in this very first slide, and before I go into the deeper into the webinar, our very starting, our main, our objective, our intent is to convey to you, please don't panic, which you have also conveyed in the second survey. What is an intent-led system? We are trying to match it with the inner requirement-led system. Now, a lot of us have good intent to run our system effectively, but there are many organizations who just try to make a checklist and meet the requirement. I'm looking at the last bullet: audit preparation, spikes before certification, documentation update, risk register, and static artifacts, cultural, whatever. But please remember, the major point you want to take home is the new change is bringing in an intent-led system. It must work. It must be operated around the year. You're not just waiting for a non-conformity and be responsive. So the leaders are referencing the management system in their daily strategic decisions and their conversations, psychological safety, etc. Corrective actions are being taken. Risk is integral to your discussion, as are the opportunities for improvement. If you have any questions anytime, please put them in the chat so that I can progress with this, but we promise to answer all your questions. All right. So this is a good little table in front of you: level, system behavior, revision impact. So you want to see the real divide, how mature is your system. So some of these slides I'm putting before you, they will help you to do self-assessment as you look at the changes. So compliance-driven, structured, integrated, strategic. You are looking at the system behavior, clause focus, process ownership emerging. You want to see what is the impact. Is it going to be highly disruptive to your system? Do you require just a moderate adjustment? If you have thought through the risks linked to your objectives, remember you are looking at in ISO 9001 and looking at the related harmonized structure standards. So if you are looking at the 6.1 risk, do you also connect it to 6.2? I have objectives. How am I going to reach this objective? How is my policy expectation of my leadership going to be met? So it is like a table. You're going from 5.2 to 6.2, but based on 6.1, only then you are getting the smooth transition. So please remember the leadership driven system, change leveraged for advantage. Your system must become an asset for you. Your system must become an asset for you. Now, your system is a marathon. You are preparing for the marathon. Do you want to focus on studying the map, identifying the terrain, and getting the right gear for it? Spend more money, get great consultants. We are waiting to get your money. Get us, we'll come. Or are you going to focus on training for the marathon and conditioning for it? And in focusing, are you going to appreciate the risks? Are you going to update your policy? Are you going to ensure that your system is actually functioning? I would sometimes say, you could say or and. I try to think of both of it as I go further and discuss the clauses, etc. So please remember, here are some good slides, couple of them I will mark for you. Conditioning builds maturity. Conditioning builds maturity. So when did the process owners last review their processes? I virtually put the questions for you. Go back and see your system. Are you actually using the system, living it? If you were, you would be regularly doing this. Do internal audits test the effectiveness or just the conformity? Oh, we meet this clause. We have written about it in our quality manual or wherever. Does it actually function? Does the corrective action prevent recurrence? Does it prevent recurrence? Does management review drive strategic decisions? When was context last reviewed? Did you do a SWOT analysis? Did you do a SWOT analysis? Come out with the weaknesses and threats, and then go back to look at clause 4142 and appreciate the context so that the context leads you to the risk. Is the system actually working, or are you just maintaining? Are you just maintaining that risk register? Okay, if the auditors come, I will show this risk register. That should not be your aim. It should be to treat it like a marathon, to treat it like a marathon. Look at your level, system behavior, revision impact, and then ask yourself, does the management review drive strategic decisions? Please remember, in a previous audit, I may come under the old standard 2015 and I may say, have you done a management review? You come out, show it to me. I see the date. It is within your prescribed, whatever you have decided, every 6 months, every 1 year. Check mark. I'm happy. With the revised standard that's coming, that's no good. You need to show, does the management review drive strategic decision? My question is, what strategic decisions were driven? Show me how the outputs were used. Did it lead to the management asking you, the leadership asking you, how is it that we didn't know the risk? Why did we not look at the context in detail? So depending on your position, if you are in the middle level or you are the quality manager, environmental manager, integrated management system manager, you are looking there to see, is my system actually working, or is it just a quality kind of circle going round and round? Please remember, The changes that are coming want to see the effectiveness of your management system. Do your personal understand how to contribute to the system? Can you give me an evidence where they showed that they participated? Remember, a lot of you, I think if I recollect, 27% or 26% are QHSE managers. My question to you is, you have clause 5.4 from ISO 45001, for example. Do personnel understand how to contribute? Do you actually get inputs from them? If not, why not? If yes, how did you use them, etc.? So the learning from this wonderful slide in front of you is use these questions. Use these questions to assess, are you conditioning, building maturity? I like this one. Standards change as an evolution, not to cause a revolution. These standards are being updated because there is a felt need from you, from us, the users. Of course, this standard is in the DIS, FDIS stage. It will be published. When it is published sometime in September 2026, there is typically a 3-year transition period. We believe in the PDCA cycle. That is the process-based management system approach. So we are going to do planning as a mandatory requirement. So please remember, I've listened to a lot of these webinars many companies are conducting. It is looking as an opportunity to catch the users and make some money. To you, I say, panic is unnecessary. Don't fall for fear selling. Let this webinar give you that confidence that is your system working? If it isn't, this is time for introspection to look at your system, why it's not working. You want to ask me in 2026, what are the major changes? I'll go over the few clauses. But what I want to convey to you is standards change as an evolution. It's an evolution. It's an evolution. It is like the Darwin's theory. You've got to have evolution, not to cause a revolution. Standards address global shifts like climate, supply chain, AI, crypto security, asset management, business continuity. How are you going to ensure all this? Is your system robust enough to stand these challenges? So the end of this, not only this webinar, but at the end of it, please take this quote with you so that whatever management system you have, as you implement and prepare it for the change, it should look like an evolution. It should not create that revolution. Oh my God, what am I going to do? It's coming. We have to. No, go ahead. Of course, don't forget, we are here. If you have any questions, any help needed, don't be reluctant to contact QMI. But remember, it is not a cause for a panic. Reinforce your system. Maybe your system is fragile, but you didn't worry about it. But remember, if your system is fragile, change feels disruptive. If the change is making you panic, it is an input. Convert that input, that risk, into an opportunity for improvement. Make it an evolution. Let us improve our system so we are getting our return on investment. Let us make our system robust so that the change feels natural. We need to be crypto conscious. We need to be able to manage our assets. They should last longer. Return on investment, waste should be controlled. We don't want RMAs. We know all this, but rethink over all this. Are we polluting? Are we having byproducts? Let us look at all that. So, live diagnostic, is your system revision ready? Here is another one. Please remember this first one I gave you. Conditioning builds maturity. And of course, everything but, and this one, and then another one. Keep these in front of you. If you answer to any of these questions, if you answered no to 3 of these questions, just 3, maybe more. If you answer no to 3 or more of these questions, then there is a structural risk. It is not cause for panic. It is wonderful news that now you know your system is not actually functioning. It is just a paper tiger. You need to make it effective. So these questions are: does leadership reference the management system in strategy discussions? Are they actually considering, or they are conscious that their management system is an asset? Are risk outputs visibly tied to the business objectives? Remember clause 5.1. Your business and quality are integral. They are working together. Please remember that. Are risk outputs therefore visibly tied to business is a very good question. You are doing internal audits. Maybe you are spending money on those internal audits. But my question would be, do internal audits evaluate behavioral effectiveness? If I am in an audit and I talk to the top management, I ask them, let it be anywhere, rank structured in the military or a CEO, etc. How did you last use your audit? In what places it gave you the input to make a better decision? If your answer is no, I merely did this so that I have check marked that I have done the audit, well, then you are wasting money on those audits. All right. Is corrective action measured by recurrence prevention? Things should not keep reoccurring. The mistakes, let it not only be non-conformities, definitely not rejection at inspection. How did it reach so far? Remember in your minds to differentiate between inspection and audit. But even go before audit now with the new system, the managers should be conscious. Is my system working? How is it that during an audit it came up and I didn't know? How did it reach the product stage to be rejected at the inspection point? So look at this chain, decipher it, be clear on it. And therefore, are processes reviewed by process owners at periodic intervals and reviews effective? Or is it the same process, it has been there forever and ever and it is there? Does it match up with your objectives leading backwards to the policy? Does it cater to all the risks? So little more on effectiveness, actual use of the system. Is everybody good so far with me? All right. ISO updates. Like I said, yes, expectations are rising. Everyone is creating a scenario of panic. We here at QMII are assuring you, telling you, plan well. If you do, there is no panic about it. Solidify your fundamentals. While structure and framework is familiar, the expectations are rising. We want to know why our system is not giving us conforming products and services. Why our system is producing so much of waste. Why our products are being rejected at the inspection stage. Why not look at our system? Use this opportunity to re-engage leadership and all personnel who run that system. It's a total involvement. You are a team. Remember, it's a harmonized standard, 9001, 14, 28, 27, all these are harmonized standards. The skeleton is the same. So those of you who are looking for changes, before I actually go to the clause, put this in your mind. The structure skeleton is the same. It's a very good thing that the Technical Committee 176, and based on that, many automobile laboratories, aerospace, they are going to update the standard. Please remember, they have not stressed towards changing too many clauses. What is being added is lot more notes, etc., and appendices to make you show effectiveness, make it more effective. That's it. That's evolution. It is not a revolution. Therefore, is becoming easier, not harder. Risk-based thinking is being emphasized. Once the changes are here, review the impact on your system and develop a plan to update your system. Please remember, your commitment to excellence remains the same. But part of that excellence, and I say it with an apology, could be in some cases just checklist. Oh, we do this, we are okay for the audit. We don't want to be okay for the audit. We want to be okay in such a manner that our system produces conforming products and services. Our rejection at inspection is statistically or otherwise, however you measure it, showing clearly that it is reducing. RMA is reducing. Pollution is reducing. Our workers are healthier and safer in that. They don't feel pressurized. So we are looking at effectiveness in the changes that are coming in 2026. So additional steps to improve your change success. These are wonderful tips. And please remember to bring them to you, this whole webinar. We have spent time on it, discussing in-house with all our specialists, between the CEO, president, myself, and our other instructors and consultants, and we have come up with this. We are kind of assuring you and recommending to you, don't start with we are compliant. We will adjust when it is final. Remember the statistics that we collected. We want to use it that good 50% of you are waiting. But while you are waiting, start looking at, is our system effective? Is our assessment of risks working? Begin asking now, where is our system fragile? What are the weaknesses? Where are we vulnerable? What are we dependent on? Are we dependent on some individuals? After all, it's God's world, finite life, and various other reasons and other choices. What happens if this person doesn't turn up tomorrow? Are we stressing our processes? Are we making sure? So as we come later, you will see clause 716 knowledge has also been strengthened. They are being strengthened so that you invest in your processes, have lessons learned, a better designed, functioning, result-oriented management system. Where does performance lag behind? We are reporting something, but we are not reaching. You must strengthen your 912, etc. Start with, if our transaction actually transition to the new standard failed in 18 months, what could we have possibly done differently? So it's right now. Don't worry about the change. The clauses are not changing much. Clauses are already there. The framework is already there. Somebody will say, oh, I'm waiting for the system to come. That's a good decision. But I'm putting to you, what are you waiting for? The new change is basically telling you, is your system effective? So why not start looking, is your system effective? Is it actually giving you the desired outputs, meeting your objectives, addressing your risks, giving you opportunities? Are you using the modern availability of AI, etc., to the extent that, and the standard is taking cognizance of it? ISO is introducing quality culture requirements. Do we need to change our behavior towards the management system? Do we need to ask, is the system producing what we wanted, the way we wanted, without the ill effects that it comes with? And our people, are they in a way ethically happy working? Are they getting what they should? Wonderful. So before we discuss clauses, you will notice that the first part of the morning of this webinar, I've used to give you, I've kind of conveyed to you, in a way, this reassurance that this standard change this time, unlike in 2015, is not a revolution, it's just an evolution. In 2015, there was a thought process change from preventive action to risk, etc. So there were major changes. In this case, your clauses are there, everything is there. Can you make them more effective? And therefore, three recurring failure patterns observed during major transitions. This is what has been seen every time, whether 2000, 2008, 2015, and now 2026. Leadership disengages after the kickoff briefing. You want to go after this webinar and brief your leaders, this is what you are briefing them. Sir, ma'am, you need to be part of it. You have risk registers. They exist, but do not influence objectives or controls. Maybe they do in some of your cases. But look at this. Remember, I told you, make a note of 2, 3 slides I have marked. You can look at the whole presentation. But this is another in your checkoff list. You want to look at it. Internal audits test conformity, not just effectiveness or the checklist or that it is done. They test conformity. Get your internal auditors trained so that they are competent to assess whether your system is working, not because this form is filled, this checklist is filled. Of course, that you have to do. Are you all with me? I know I cannot get responses, but keep this in mind. Risk, 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 not lying in a book, in a register, on paper, but actually functioning. Excellent. So here are some of the expected changes in ISO 9001 photo. Just a bit of a summary. I again say there are no major changes in the clauses. Some few I will mention. So 9001, climate change. We know it came, we already incorporated it, but amendments are already out, we know about it. But the influence of climate must be considered. The reality of emerging tech, AI integration, like I mentioned, and supply chain resilience is being emphasized. Is being emphasized through annex and through more notes to the clauses. The new standard will be slightly more bulkier, not because the clauses have increased, but the explanation and notes have gone up. Are you all good with that? So clause 6.1, deeper integration of risk and opportunity. In fact, opportunity for improvement, OFI, is being emphasized more so that you are a progressive system. Now we have all these AIs and various things and questions and chat GPTs and Geminis and whatever you use. But your emphasis should be on the system actually performing to your expectations, to your objectives, based on your policy, based on your risks, and on the other side, ensuring customer focus. 512. 14,001, focus on life cycle perspective. We are not looking at cradle to grave, we are looking at cradle to cradle. We cannot have waste lying all over. So you are shifting from preventing pollution to proactive environmental performance. You want to see the end. How does it recycle, etc., and stop harming Mother Earth and various aspects. A little bit, because a lot of us deal with aerospace. It's a reality. Just it's not a full presentation stressed on ISO AS 9100, which will be renamed IA 9100. But a few good points. The standard is transitioning from 9100 Delta to an IA prefix that I think most of you know. If you don't, please make a note. But just like I talked for 9001, please keep in mind that the focus is on product safety. If all that you did not make the aircraft safer, if it still crashed, if a mishap occurred, or the flight had to be cancelled, your system hasn't worked. So you are looking at counterfeit parts, you are looking at operational risk, you are looking across to see that IA 9100 will make the aerospace environment safer, securer, more effective, and the return on investment will be to your positivity. Please remember, I am introducing a new standard number here, IA 9150. Please don't, again, no panic. It is the same as IA 9100, but what about large Boeing, Northrop Grumman? But they use smaller suppliers. And those guys need to be also certified in the old setup to AS 9100 Delta, which in this case would become IA 9100. But they don't need to do such elaborate preparations. They are merely, almost just doing ISO 9001, but because aerospace is industry specific, they need to do a little more. It's a small little company supplying you some baskets, etc., to be put in the aircraft. So they had to go through the entire 9100 Delta. So this new standard, so that you don't again think like in the panic mode, oh my God, one more standard, aims to bridge the gap for suppliers who find the full IA 9100 too burdensome, costly, extensive. Hey, I don't do design and development. Why am I being asked to do all this? Well, here is the answer for you. It provides more industry-specific rigor, and it is closer to 9001 certification. It targets organizations, small suppliers, etc., focus areas. Are you all good with this? I don't need to go into detail, just for you to know that here is a version of IA 9100 closer to ISO 9001 and not too elaborate, so that you know about it. Excellent. Now here is the clause level changes that you are expecting, 4142. I'm going to rush through it because you already know it. It is the same context and stakeholders. The new thing is the 2024 climate change, which came in 2024 amendment, is now fully integrated. You as an organization must explicitly determine if climate change is a relevant issue. 5.1 leadership. It now promotes a quality culture, and please note, underline new word, ethical behavior. Ethical was mentioned in AS 9100, IA 9100 now, but now for 9001 also, leadership is expected to foster an environment where integrity drives performance. So please make a note, that's a major change for leadership. 6.1. Not much of a change and a bit of a change. Expect a clearer separation between negative, which is risk, and positive, which is opportunities for improvement. A lot more emphasis on opportunities for improvement and encouraging organizations to look at this. 713, infrastructure. This is now including, and this would be expected by you. I'm sure you're not surprised, remote and hybrid work. after COVID, and now it's become a habit in many places. We are doing a lot of RVBing, etc. Digital infrastructure. Your cloud, VPNs, etc. were not mentioned, now they are required to maintain quality. Makes sense. 716 was a new clause in 2015. By now, we are already there. We have built the knowledge base. We understand that every organization wants to marry knowledge and competency. There's a relationship between 7.2 and 716. But we now know that 716 is organizational and individual, lessons learned, etc. So, strengthening the requirement to not only identify but also to retain and share knowledge. You want to mitigate risks. You want to control your turnover, so your HR, etc., get involved so that when projects are closed, we will analyze them well so that every time we are showing continual improvement and people are not leaving, etc. Clause 8.4. It's related to through 841, 842, 843 are put together. It is looking at external providers, vendors, etc. But please see, it is shifting focus from just technical specs to ensure that suppliers align with their intent. Remember the very first second slide I showed you. Intent to be ethical, sustainability requirements. So they are looking at doing good, providing good, so we too do good with our products. Now, if you remember 10, 10.1 and 10.3, 10.2 deals with a non-conformity. 10.1 and 10.3 were virtually the same, but there were two clauses. So they are combining it into 10.1 continual improvement. That may be the only clause numbering difference. This has been consolidated, links, etc., incorporates innovation, OFIs. The standard now views innovation as a recognized form of improvement. Are you all good with this? So remember, we keep mentioning emerging tech. It is not a separate clause. The draft, in a way, indirectly encourages you to be cognizant of AI, IoT, data analysis for real-time monitoring and operational control. So it is now a part of it, but left to you. Just like notes in the clauses were. They are not integral to the clause, but they explain to you how you will go about. So these are the few changes. I have made out some tables. I don't need to go through each of them. They are to be useful inputs for you. So you have a phase when you understand, diagnose, strengthen, embed, and assure. And it gives you right down to, I've broken it down, where the leadership should focus, the actions you need to take towards that system, the risks, if ignored, what will happen, misinterpret, superficial conformity. Strategic risks will remain, they will get overlooked, etc. Registrar identifies the gaps you didn't, not a good idea. And the last column, respectfully respecting you all and our promise not to be selling ourselves, we have still put where expert support adds value. If this table concludes for you in a manner that, hey, I need help, we are here. We are here. Executive briefings, independent maturity, risk-based thinking, these can be incorporated with the help of consultants or, of course, if you can do it yourself. So I'm going to conduct a quick, wonderful poll again. And Julius, go ahead. What feels most uncertain about with these upcoming changes? What's in your mind now that I've covered so much? I trust Julius, Angelica, you have the inputs.
I
Thank
think
you.
they're still coming in, I think.
Okay, I'll wait, sir. Let me know, Julius.
All right, I'll close it in about 15 seconds and
All
we
right.
can move on.
Yeah, excellent. So I have conveyed the thoughts to you. I've tried to tell you, please do not panic. I have brought home this thought to you that it's an evolution, not a revolution. There is no reason again to panic. The changes by clauses, I have given them to you. And in this slide in front of you, where I have put 14,001, you can see in the harmonized structure, it is similar. It is similar. That 4.1 has been refined. Interested parties 4.2 has been expanded, including the effect of climate, etc. Stronger ESG stakeholder transparency is required. 5.1, we discussed visibility, accountability for environmental performance. Risks are aspects, their impact. Clause 6.1 has been restructured so that there is clearer link between aspect, risk, and planning, so that it is more tailored towards your using the risks and aspects to look at the impacts and design the response. Life cycle perspective, I gave you an idea, deeper upstream, downstream control, performance evaluation, and improvement. I explained to you for 9001, but it has been put together performance enhancement beyond pollution prevention. All right. And here is another wonderful table we have made for you. Change category, what is changing and what matters. And I would say what matters, especially you want to look at. So there are at least 8 slides in this presentation which you can use directly to contribute to your preparation for the 2026 version of the standard. It tells you drives real leadership accountability. Just imagine not just procedural, project sensitive. Did the project deliver what you wanted? Process capability. Did the process actually result in what you wanted? Elevate safety, encourage proactive process design, risk control, greater integrity. Look at audits, please, especially those of you who are auditors or who are senior management and receive the outcomes of the audit. It's a tool for strategic insight. It must give you what you want. If it doesn't, you need to relook at your audits. Recognizes the reality of digital record keeping, but also remember the vulnerabilities from cyber threats. So don't panic. With governance, risk integration, audit effectiveness, process ownership, cultural reinforcement, you have the dates given there. Remember, sometimes certifying bodies, if you are connected to a certifying bodies, they like to do it quicker. In 2015 also there were 3 years, but a lot of them within a year wanted it done. Of course, it will remain 3 years, that is till late 2029, but it's a good idea to update as soon as it's available. Remember, in summing up, be calm. The core is strong fundamental. If your system is good, excellent. Deep dive. clauses shows emphasis on climate, culture, ethics, and cyber. It's like a summary for you. The action begins at as is concept always propagated by QMII. Don't use templates. Don't get carried away by people promising you that a magic will occur if you pay us. Nothing like that. Go by as is, review of processes before starting your gap analysis. There were a lot of changes and all this to be done. I may have gone a little longer than I planned, but now it is open to you for questions.
So we've received a few questions on the side, sir. Um, yeah, I think we have one in the chat here, but the one of the questions was, when will the updated training be available?
That's a wonderful question. And at QMII, we will be ready fairly soon if you need it. We are already working on it, but we think it would be only fair when the standard is available. But if you need training, we are ready with it. Does that answer your question? And Julius, if you want to add anything with your ground level input on writing the updates, please go ahead.
Right. As the changes are coming about, we are already started updating our materials kind of in flux, but uh, our intent is that as soon as the standard is released, within a week of the standard being released, we should have our updated training available. And towards that end, one of the questions asked is, do you need to retake the entire lead auditor
No, no,
course, or
no.
will there be a transition course available? We have to see what the certification bodies say at this time, but since our courses are certified, previously for the last revision, we were able to do just a revision update, and you could cover just the changes. We always recommend the full course. One, it acts as a refresher, but two, the workshops help solidify and reinforce the learnings from the the standard that has been taught actually. And with
Yeah.
with aerospace, I recall that Probitas themselves had put out a little webinar sort of learning out there for the aerospace folks when that transition happened. But yeah, as and when we get updated, we'll let you know. I think another question was, there were, I think, a couple of slides in here. So someone has asked, how can you get more details on the changes outside of the tables that we have given them?
And we are going to share this with you, also continuing with the thought as Julius has conveyed. You really don't need to panic about it. A 1 day executive overview will introduce you to the changes and the new clauses. And for services, we work a lot with US Coast Guard, Army, Air Force, etc. We will come out with executive overviews, and it'll be just a one day course. We will introduce perhaps a workshop, etc. So you are hands on it. And otherwise, the standard is only going to come in 2026 September. So you have time over it, and the training will be available fairly shortly.
And we have another question, a couple of questions here. One is, do you have any recommendations for in engaging leadership and increasing leadership engagement with your experience?
And we do conduct something called an awareness leaders workshop, and it is on our website also. And we, during that workshop, especially for this update, we are very happy to interact with the leaderships, because we understand that those of you who are with them, sometimes they don't want to hear it from you. And we are happy to conduct a 1 day awareness leaders workshop for your leaders, including incorporating these changes. If you have any other suggestions, let us know. We always tailor, as we have recently done for a few companies in a different subject. We tailor the training. The other is that you yourself should be able to brief them after this presentation, which anyway, each of you will get a copy. And if you want to add anything, Julius, go ahead.
No, that is good. And then Bill had a question here. It says AS 9100 embeds ISO 9001. How will these changes affect the dual certification when it will be integrated into AS 9100?
Excellent. So IA 9100 and the related standards for maintenance, etc., and the new standard which is coming out, please remember that they are waiting, it says very clearly, for 9001. But 9001 is keeping them updated. So you may find 9001 and IA 9100 come up in the market at the same time. At the same time. Is your question answered, sir? Bill?
Yes, that was perfect. Thank you.
Excellent, sir. And it's if you're a smaller company, I immediately don't know, but please remember now this newer standard will be a big help because you are closer to ISO 9001 and your other requirements of aerospace as per your company requirements will also be met.
Yeah, and then George is a service provider, and he's saying he is AS 9100D registered. How will the changes affect us?
So George, the key thing in this is the implementation, especially in aviation, following the tragedies. I'm sure you are in the aviation sector. You read Flying Blind, and you are in picture. I too have written some articles on the subject on our blog. If you go to the QMII blog, but not specific to this. And I've also written about the expected changes in aerospace, and it's on our QMII blog. But to answer your question, the clauses are not changing major, but the implementation is. What can you take away from this webinar? And the question you asked me, the answer is go back and see those 5-6 slides I pointed out. How is the implementation? And if you need more answer, I can always email you if you send an email to me or to Julius or to Angelica.
Very good.
Yes, correct. Anything else, sir? So that we can quickly touch now, because there is only that much of time, but we are always happy to answer questions by email if you didn't get a full answer. Julius, any other question you had?
No, I think that's all that we have got so far. I think we are good to end. We're almost at the top of the hour.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you to all. We appreciate your time and spending your afternoon with us. Feel free to reach out if you have additional questions. Our solutions team members are always available, and we are here to support your journey in good, effective management systems. You should get a email of this recording shortly after we close here, but if you do not, do let us know, right? And you may receive a follow-up call as well sometime next week to make sure you've got it, and the sales team will make sure you get a copy of the presentation then when they reach out.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time. I enjoyed, I know I was a bit rushed, but it's a new standard, and so there is so little time and so much to convey. But thank you for your trust in QMII. Thank you for being friends of QMII, and best of luck with the transition. We are just an email away or a phone call away to help you in any way we can. Thank you, George, for always attending. Monica, thank you. Andy, thank you. Ryan, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Commander Nicholas, thank you. Thank you. Martin, thank you. Kia, thank you. Granny, thank you. Dr. Kathy, thank you.